This is going to be the free-to-play setup for the current Hall of Trials rotation Death Dealer Ray. I did a quick run just to see what the current scores are at. Right now it's only not even 10.5 million to reach top 5%, and this 6.7 million score is within the 8%. So getting top 10% is going to be trivial, and for top 5% I would say aim for 15 million to be safe. It's probably going to be a little bit lower than that. We can take a look at the units we're going to use, and the hard part of Death Dealer Ray in general is these guys here. There's the free break mechanic, the overload phase, where we have to hit them with an AoE that has either provoke, redirected provoke, or silence. And this is really restrictive because there's not that many units that can do that. Ideally it's an attack skill too, not a non-attack skill. So our options is one, Cecilia, who is the one I'll be using, because you're likely going to have her built for Earth Expedition anyways, and just +4 her S3 for 100% provoke chance, and you'll be able to use her every time Death Dealer Ray is here, unless it's something like this says no 2 fire heroes or something, and the best in slot DPS is a fire hero or whatever, but generally you'll be able to use her here. And then your other options, there is Calric as well as Fairy Tale Tenebria. They both have the same skill enhancements on their S3, which means that you don't need any enhancements to get 100% chance for debuff. Silence for Calric, redirected provoke for Fairy Tale Tenebria. And then the -1 turn, even if you're missing out on this, you can just make them faster or use like a damage reduction artifact or a cooldown reduction artifact, or use Achates S2 into them. There's some options to avoid having them all of this if you're completely broke. The final option for 100% debuffers at least is Euphine. Euphine, you need to max her S2 for the temp. This brings it to 85% chance to silence, plus her EE brings it to 100. Also, you do have to play around her S3, giving her 20% CR if the enemy has a debuff, which is going to be annoying because units like Achates, her S1 has a chance to land attack down, not 100%, so that could introduce RNG to your run. That's it for the 100% options at least. Like, there's AOL and Emalua as well, but those are non-attack skills, which make the fight a lot harder, because you need to actually hit the ads for them to push up and kill themselves, and you enter the break phase like that. We'll be using Cecilia, like I mentioned. And you could also not Molo Cecilia's S3, and just live with the RNG if you're completely broke on Molas and you only plan on doing like one phase. Other RNG options, there's Senya or Tempasurin, but I would try to do 100% one just to make it a bit less painless, or a bit less painful. Our front slot is for the promoted unit for this rotation, or at least the one that fits the mechanics, because it's supposed to be Argent Waves Hua Young, but Alexa does more damage than her. This is even without the Dust Devil bug that makes Alexa do way more damage than she should. Just at base, Alexa does more damage than Hua Young in this rotation. So we'll be using Alexa here. You can use Hua Young if you want, just if you're using Hua Young, make sure you have a way to proc her S2, which isn't that hard because you have Achates. Achates is our cleanser slash healer. You don't need that much healing for this fight. You stay really low HP the entire fight, but they don't do that much actual damage to you. You pretty much just need to cleanse the venoms and poisons, and have just barely enough healing to survive the ad hits, which is like 1k damage. Achates can't really be beaten for this slot. You know, Amelia is better in terms of, like, she has her CR push on S2, plus she can attack buff, and she has her attack imprint, but her healing is worse. I would say for general usage, Achates is just by far the best one. You should just use her. Because the alternatives besides Amelia, it's like Ray or... yeah, they're all going to be harder to get than her and worse, so just use Achates. This back slot, any attack stacking unit, we're using Verdant Adin because she's self-attack buffs, and she's a thief, so we can meet this 2 thief requirement, plus she's accessible. Other thieves for this rotation, I guess BBK self-attack buffs on her S3, because, yeah, her S2 is going to be weird, because she's going to be super fast, but she does exist, I guess, in case you swapped off Verdant Adin for some reason. Really, any thief works here, ideally one that self-attack buffs, like Gala, I guess, but even if they don't self-attack buff, you'll do okay, you'll just do less damage. Let's take a look at their stats. First up is Achates. For Achates, +3 on her S3, so you can infinitely loop S2 and S3 into break phase. And then besides that, give her some HP and some speed. The HP is just so she heals more, and then the speed is really just for speed tuning purposes, though you don't really have to be that tight. As long as you're cleansing and you're not dying, that's good enough. For Artifact, we gave her Warhorn. Gives attack to all allies. Do keep in mind the CR push, which like I mentioned, doesn't really matter that much because Achates won't ever ruin your break phase, but it's worth keeping in mind just because if your Warhorn's not +15, you might not be able to match what I'm doing. Now we've got Cecilia. For Cecilia, I kind of just swapped a couple of her pieces from her normal PvE build, but her only stat that matters is speed. It's just whatever speed works well for you, use it. That's it. Because, yeah, like she's not taking like any real direct damage, so it's the speed is all that matters. Artifact, give her any attack boosting artifact for the team. Super duper water shooter, card of small miracles, it's fine. And then, like I mentioned, +4 on S3 to hit 100% provoke chance, or you just run her +0 on S3 for 85% provoke chance. Then we've got Virgin Adin. It's just max out her attack. That's it. And then for her artifact, I gave her Windrider because, like I mentioned, I'm skipping Dust Devil in for this. Give her Cruel Mischief if you plan on giving Alexa Dust Devil. Otherwise, I'm not sure exactly how the attack split works. I'm assuming it's even, like it just combines Alexa's attack with the attack of the unit in the back row, but maybe Cruel Mischief on Adin is better. I don't think it'll influence your damage that much though. And then we have Alexa, who you just max out her attack, crit chance, and crit damage, and then give her Dust Devil if you want to play with the RNG and get higher score, or you could just give her any attack boosting artifact and it's going to be fine. Now we can take a look at the run and see how it goes.
모든 게 끝났을 때 무슨 관계는 날 기다릴까?
We are going to cleanse off all of the venoms, and then we're going to auto her a little bit. We're waiting until this little thing here gets to the third bar. It's at 3 now, so let's assess. Cecilia can go, that is no problem. Achates goes. And then Adin is silenced, so she has no choice. But the important part is here with Alexa. Cecilia is the one that moves us into the break phase, and she's going to do that before Alexa gets to go again. So let's use Alexa S3 here. This gives us attack buff for 3 turns. For poison, Achates can cleanse us. And then this is a little bit close, so this might be a tight speed for Cecilia and Adin. Might need to slow down your Cecilia a bit if you want to try to match this. I'm going to S3 on this turn with Adin to give her attack buff as well. Cecilia S3. We'll provoke both of these, and you'll see they push up, they kill themselves. And we're in the break phase. So if you had Dust Devil, you would hopefully get a Dust Devil proc here, but we don't have it, so we'll just be playing it normally. And then one here. So this is one of the downsides to not having Tori, I guess, or a 3-turn attack buffer. The attack buff wears off on this turn, unfortunately. Or at least the one on Adin. Alexa still has hers. Still pretty solid damage, though. This might be safe for top 5%, 12.5 billion, but we can go a little bit higher. You can use, I forgot to mention, you can use Cecilia S2 to try and land attack down on DDR if you want, just to, well, reduce the amount of damage that he's dealing to your Adin primarily, but we're not going to use it just because, yeah, not everybody's going to have her S2 molded, but you can definitely use it to reduce the amount of damage that he deals. Then we need 5 hits. Yeah, like you're not taking that much damage in this fight, so even without the attack down, which most of your damage isn't coming from actual damage, so the attack down is just a very slight DPS decrease. So if I look here, DDR's gonna go, and I pretty much have to Alexa S3 here. Get our attack buff up. So one thing I could have done that I didn't do is I could have hit the ads a little bit just to avoid hitting DDR. Leave a little bit of bar on his thing so that when Adin goes, she would be the one to enter him into the break phase. Not sure if the CR on DDR would have lined up for that to work. That is a potential option, depending on your setup. We get our attack buff here. And this is already safe for top 5%, like this is way more than we need. And might as well heal a bit here. I could have also held it and just used it to cleanse next turn, but I don't think it really matters that much because DDR is going to insta-venom us here. But at this point, we're already set for top 5%. I'm just going to keep on going.
심판의 시간입니다. 여신을 위하여. 생각보다 약하네. 피하지 않겠어요.
I'm not sure if Alexa's going to get to go in time. I don't think that she will, so we're going to use S3 here. If I'm wrong, then we lose one turn of attack buff. It is what it is. What is more concerning is that my Adin might die here, but... Well, my Adin is very dead here. The question is, will Achates cut in time? Let's find out. Okay, my Adin is just barely alive, but now DDR is going to kill. Which sucks, I guess. Well, unfortunately, she died, but we're safe for top 5% anyways. Maybe the end of the second break phase.
제 앞에서
When I used the Achates S3, I should have held it to cleanse the venoms. That could have been the difference.
준비됐어요.
You can also see without having Adin there, the S1s do a lot less damage now because the extra hit scales based off of
지지
her
않
attack plus, or Alexa's attack plus the backslot attack.
나버릴 거예요. 피하지 않겠어요. 모두 구원해드릴게요. 여신님! 제 앞에서 비키세요. 최선을 다하겠습니다.
고통은 없을 거야. 효과는 내가 보증하거든.
So that's it for the free-to-play setup. This is within the top 1%, but like I mentioned, probably 15 million is going to be fine for top 5%. And I'll see you guys for the next rotation.